Hello, book lovers and English learners. Welcome to Leaders Book Club podcast, your weekly dose of reading in English. I'm Lydie Bureau. I'm an English teacher in France and also the founder of Leaders Book Club, a book club for learners of English and non-native English speakers who want to maintain their fluency in English. In this book club, I host live readings and live discussion workshops on adaptations of classics of literature and contemporary novels in their original text. I also tend to prioritize books that are written by women each month or every 2 months. We read and explore a different book for all levels of English. And in March and April 2025, with the members of the book club, we've decided to read this book. It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, published in 2022. So this book is not an adaptation, so you need a strong B2 or upper intermediate or C1 advanced level in English. Because this is the original text and this is not an adaptation. So you need to be able to appreciate the book. You need you can't be a beginner. So I would say that if you have a B2 level, but you like reading, you already read in English, then that should be okay because the level or the writing style is quite easy to get and it's modern English, so it's quite easy to read, I would say. So we've decided to read this book because it is the sequel book of this one. It Ends With Us by the same author. So it just made sense. So we read this book in January and February. So it just made sense to us to read this book just after this one, after the first one. So if you don't know anything about these books or Colleen Hoover, then I invite you to listen to the podcast episode 30, so the podcast of the book club, where I introduce you to Colleen Hoover and her books and her work as well. So this podcast is available on this YouTube channel, but also on Spotify, if you prefer. So today it is session 15, and we are going to read chapters 30, 31, and 32. So this is a big session today, a big reading session. So if you would like to attend these live readings with me and be guided through the reading, so you just need to subscribe to the newsletter of the book club. You go to the description of this video and follow the link. It will be the best way for you to improve your reading and comprehension skills, and also get the chance to ask me any questions that you might have about the book or the book club. Also, on Saturday, the 26th of April, I will host the second live discussion workshop. So we will talk about chapters 15 to 25. And this discussion is only available for the members. So if you want to take part of the discussion, then I invite you to join the book club and sign up and subscribe to the membership. So again, you have the link in the description of the video. Joining the book club will definitely be the place where you have the opportunity to improve your speaking skills, your critical thinking skills, and your fluency, gain more confidence, and get motivated as well to read, to keep reading and read more. So really, it is going to be the real opportunity for you, and also it's going to be the fantastic way to meet other members of the book club. But if you're not sure about joining the book club yet, you can purchase any live workshop series that we've done in the past, so you can have an idea of what it's like to be part of the book club. You don't need to become a member for that. You just go to the workshop store on the website, and there you just select the book you're interested in and the session that you would like to listen to. And on checkout, you have to create your login. And with this login, you'll be able to watch all the videos at your own pace and in your own time, really, and read the book at your own pace as well. So that's what I wanted to say first in this a little introduction of this session. So before I get started with the reading of chapter 30, I just want to recap a little bit of what happened yesterday. So yesterday we read chapters 28 and 29, and so much happened. So chapter 28, Ryle and Lily are at they have organized their daughter's birthday party at Elisa's flat. So they have invited their parents and friends. But remember, Ryan and Lily ended on a very ended. I would say the last time they saw each other was when Ryle came over to her flat, her shop, and he in a way threatened her about the lawyer, the fact that Lily told him that she had shown, although it was a lie, that she had, or at least she's going to keep all the text messages from him as evidence in case she needed. But she said to him that she had shown the text, she had sent the text to her lawyer, and Ryle was shocked and was really upset about the fact that Lily is not going to be controlled by him anymore, and she's going to fight back. And he threatened her to also get a lawyer if she was going to take that road, let's say. So during the party, the two of them are quite distant. Riley's ignoring Lily the whole time, and Lily is in a way happy with that. She just wants to not be too close to him. And at some point, he eventually comes to her and he starts talking about the lawyer thing. But Lily has a very clear mind. She doesn't want to have this conversation with him right now at the party, at their daughter's birthday party, with everyone, all their friends being there and family. So she's not having it. And Ryle, of course, it doesn't go his way, so he's upset. And he's upset or vexed, I would say, more like. And she just said to him that we're not having this conversation now, and she just leave him, and she goes to another room. And then Elisa just takes her by the arm and sense that something is off between the two of them. And then she starts asking about Atlas, that she nicknamed Adonis, a Greek god. So she's yeah, so Lily doesn't dwell too much on doesn't yeah, doesn't talk much about Riley's stuff, and she says that she's okay. So Elisa, I'll move on to talk about Atlas, and she offers her to look after Emerson that night, um, so that she could have a full night with Atlas without without Emerson, so she could have the night free. And of course, Lily is so excited. She can't believe it that she would keep her, and she drives straight away to Atlas's restaurant. And when she goes there, she wants to surprise him, so she doesn't text him before she arrives. And when he sees her, he's surprised to see her. And she just waits for him to finish his shift. And after that, um, he goes, and everyone is looking at her very suspiciously, or they're wondering who this girl is. Who is this girl that Atlas is kissing? Because they kissed when she arrived. Where does she come from? Because it's the first time that probably they've seen Atlas's girlfriend. So she waits for him, and when he finishes, they decide to go to his place. And there becomes very steamy, and the two of them spend the night together. And it's largely detailed in a couple of pages that I will pass. I'm not going to detail much. I give that treat for you to read and enjoy. But I guess that's something that you will enjoy reading. If you like romantic scenes and bad scenes, basically. It's a little bit descriptive, but not too much. Um, and Atlas is basically just impatient to spend the rest of his life with her, and he's already thinking about asking her to move in with him and to propose. So is yeah, he's just all in, and she is all in, of course. So chapter 29, Atlas is talking here of his feelings about Lily, and how happy he is, and how much he's been waiting for this to happen, and finally they can enjoy each other. But the kind of heaven, like the little bubble, just burst when Sutton, so Atlas's mother, just barged into, no, she doesn't barge, but knocks at Atlas's door. So she shows up at his door, and Atlas is obviously quite frustrated that she's at his door, and she's there because she wants Josh back, her son, the Atlas's little boy, a little brother. But he tells her that he's not there because he that night it happened that Josh stayed at Theo's, and and at the same time, well, a couple minutes after she arrived, Brad, so Theo's father, take is bringing Josh back to Atlas. So Josh arrives and sees his mother is at the door, and he just get upset and angry because he doesn't either want to live with Atlas nor neither Atlas nor his mother. He just wants to find his dad and live with him. So Atlas is very hurt by Josh's words, and his mother, on the contrary, is quite how to say, she's in a way feeling satisfied, or I don't have the word to say, that she's really enjoying the fact that she's happy that Josh doesn't want to stay at Atlas's, and she's feeling very joyful. Um, because at the end, well, she started laughing, saying that to Atlas that, oh, you thought that you had created a bond with him, that now you were close, and you thought that he would want to stay with you, but you're fooling yourself. You're a fool, because um, what he wants is being with his daddy, with his father, and here is almost like she won in a way. She's satisfied that um, Atlas doesn't get what he wants with Josh. And that really shows Sutton's true character and how deviant she is towards her sons, both of them, I would say, and manipulative as well, um, because she just wanted Josh for the sake of getting Atlas upset. So midnight. So it's just ridiculous that she just wanted to fight Atlas just for the sake of it, because as soon as Josh says that, she just um, throw this to him, and she just she just leaves Atlas's home. And after she left, Atlas is quite really is really down in a way. He feels completely defeated. All his effort to with all the effort that he put in making Josh happy with him, um and finding a school for him, and always being worried about him, and being um mindful of his well-being, in the end didn't really pay off. So that's a shame for him. I feel really sad for Atlas, because um, he really wants to give a chance to his little brother to have a better life, or a better childhood, but um, Josh doesn't see it that way, seems like. So let's see, chapter 30. Lily. Atlas closes the bedroom door behind him, and I find myself alone in his living room. I feel awful for both of them. I can't believe was I can't believe that was his mother. Or maybe I can. After hearing stories of her, I imagined her to be that unhinged. I imagined her to be that unhinged, but I guess I expected her to look different. Both Atlas and her brother look so much like her that it makes it difficult to see that kind of behavior come from someone Atlas is related to. They are polar opposites. I take a seat on the edge of the couch, shocked that I just witnessed all of that. I've never seen Atlas that affected. I want to go hug him, but I can absolutely understand that he needs the moment alone. Josh too, the poor kid. I don't want to leave before saying goodbye to Atlas, but I also don't want to disturb him until he's had a moment to recover. I walk to the kitchen and open the refrigerator. I look for the ingredients to make breakfast for them. I kept it simple because that's all I really know how to do. I made scrambled eggs and bacon, and put a pan of biscuits in the oven. When the biscuits are almost ready, I go tap on Josh's bedroom door. I can at least offer him something to eat while I wait for Atlas to come out of his room. Josh opens the door about 2 inches and looks at me. You want some breakfast? I ask him. Is Sutton gone? So he called his mother Sutton, not Mom. I nod, or mother, yeah. Anyway, I nod. So he opens the door and follows me down the hall. Josh gets himself something to drink while I pull the biscuits out and makes us both a plate of breakfast. I sit across from him at the table and he eyes me while he eats. I feel like I'm being sized up. Where is Emerson? He asks. She's with her aunt. Josh nods and takes a bite of his food. Then, how long have you and my brother been together? I shrug. That depends. I've known him since I was 15, but we started dating about a month and a half ago. There is a flash of surprise on Josh's face. Really? Were you like friends back then or something? Or something? I take a sip of my coffee and then set it down carefully. Your brother didn't have anywhere to live when I met him, so I helped him for a while. Josh leans back in his chair. Really? I thought he lived with our mom. When she and your dad would allow it, I say. But he spent a lot of time trying to survive without their help. I hope I'm not saying too much, but I feel like Josh needs a better understanding of Atlas. Go easy on your brother, okay? He cares a lot about you. Josh stares at me for a beat, then nods. He leans over his plate again, taking a bite of bacon. He drops the bacon back onto the plate and wipes his mouth with a napkin. His cooking is normally better than this. His cooking is normally better than this. I laugh. That's because I made it. Oh, shit, Josh says. Sorry. I don't take offense at all because I'm sure he's getting used to Atlas's cooking. Do you think you want to be a chef like him? He told me you like helping out at the restaurants. Josh shrugs. I don't know. It's fun. Maybe. But I feel like I'll get tired of it. He works a lot of nights. I feel like I'll get tired of any career after a few years, though. So I don't know what I'll do. Sometimes I feel like I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I thought you owned a flower shop or something. That's what Atlas told me. I do. Before that, I used to work at a marketing firm. I push my plate aside and fold my arms on the table. I still feel like you do. I still like, I still, sorry. All right, that doesn't seem to be very clear. I push my plate aside and fold my arms on the table. I still feel like you do, though, worried about boredom. Why are we expected to pick one thing to try and be successful at? What if I want to do something completely different every 5 years? Josh nods like he's in complete agreement. The teachers at school talk like we have to decide on one thing we love and stick with it, but I want to do a hundred things. I love how animated he is right now. He reminds me so much of a younger Atlas. Like what? I want to be a professional fisherman. I don't know how to fish, but it sounds fun. And I want to be a chef. And sometimes I think it would be fun to make a movie. Sometimes I dream of selling my flower shop and opening a clothing boutique. I want to make pottery and sell it at fairs. I'd like to write a book someday. I want to be the captain of a ship, he says. I think it would be fun to be an art teacher. I think it would be fun to be a bouncer at a strip club. I sputter, laugh, I sputter laughter at that, but I'm not the only one laughing. Josh and I glance up at Atlas, who's leaning in the doorway, laughing at our conversation. I'm relieved to see him in a better mood than the one his mother left him in. Atlas smiles at me warmly. Lily made us breakfast, Josh says to him. I see that. Atlas walks over and kisses me on the cheek, then picks up a piece of bacon and takes a bite. Kind of sucks, Josh mutters in warning. Don't insult my girlfriend or I'll stop cooking for you. Atlas steals this last slice of bacon off. Atlas steals the last slice of bacon off Josh's plate. These eggs are great, Lily, Josh says with fake enthusiasm. I laugh when Atlas takes a seat next to me. As much as I want to spend the entire day here with him, I've already stayed longer than I intended. It also feels like he and Josh have a lot to work out today. I have to go, I say regretfully. Atlas nods and I scoot back from the table. I'm gonna grab my stuff. I walk to the bedroom, but I don't close Atlas's door so I hear their conversation as I'm packing my bag. Atlas says, you feel like taking a road trip today? Where to? Josh asked. I found your dad's address. I paused, gathering my things, and walked closer to the door so I can hear Josh's response. You did? There is a new excitement in Josh's voice. Does he know we're coming? No, I only got his address. I don't know how to get in touch with him, but you were right. He's in Vermont. I can hear the dread Atlas is attempting to cover up in his voice all the way from his bedroom. God, I hate this for him. I hear Josh running toward his room. He's going to be so shocked. I finish packing with a heavier heart. When I walk back into the kitchen, Atlas is standing in front of the sink, staring out the window into his backyard. He doesn't hear me, so I put my hand on his shoulder. He immediately pulls me in and kisses me on the side of my head. I'll walk to your car. He carries my bag to the car and places it in the back seat. I open my door, but we hug again before I climb inside. This is the kind of hug Atlas gave me when he showed up at my apartment, needing a hug that night. It's long and sad, and I don't want to let go of him. What do you think is going to happen when you get there? I ask. Atlas finally releases me, but keeps his hand on my hip while he leans against my car. He sighs, threading his finger through a belt loop on my jeans. I don't know. Why do I feel so worried for him? Because you love him. Atlas's eyes scroll over my face. Is that why I always feel worried for you? Because I love you? Hmm. My breath hitches at his question. I don't know. Do you? Atlas digs his fingers into my waist and he pulls me to him. He lifts his hand and traces a finger down my neck until it meets my tattoo. I've loved you for years and years and years, Lily. You know that. He moves his finger and then kisses me there. And that move coupled with his words take everything in me to keep my composure. I've loved you just as long. Atlas nods. I know you have. No one on this earth, no one on this earth loves me like you do. He cradles my head in both of his hands, and he tilts my face up to his, and he kisses me. When he pulls back, he looks at me longingly, like I've already left, and he's already sad about it. Or maybe that's just what I'm imagining he feels, since that's what I feel. I call you tonight. Love you. I love you too. Good luck today. I drive home with such conflicted feelings. Every moment with him over this last day was more than I could have hoped for, but knowing what he's about to face makes my heart feel like a piece of it broke off and stayed with him. I'm going to be thinking about him all day. I'm hoping they don't find him, but if they do, I hope Josh makes the right decision. That's the end of chapter 30, now 31. Atlas. It's 3 hour drive there. Josh hasn't said much. He's been reading, although he's as nervous as I am about this. I'm not sure he's actually absorbing anything he's reading. He's been on the same page for 5 minutes. It's a drawing of what looks like a battle scene. It's a drawing of what looks like a battlefield, a battle scene, but mostly all I see is cleavage. Is that manga appropriate for a cleavage? Oh, cleavage is, breasts or the top. Um, or yes, so the top of the breasts. Is that manga appropriate for a 12-year-old? I ask him. He shifts ever so slightly so that the cover of the book is all I can see. Yes, his voice dropped an entire octave on that lie. At least he's a horrible liar. If he ends up staying with me, detecting when he is or isn't telling me the truth should be easy. If he ends up staying with me, maybe I should buy him a few self-help books for balance. I'll stock his bookshelves with whatever graphic novels he wants and then secretly slip in a few of my own to supplement my lack of skills as a guardian. Untamed, Man Enough, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, heck, maybe even some sacred text from every major world religion. I'll take whatever help I can get, especially after today. As much as Josh may think this is a one-way trip, I know in my heart is coming right back to Boston with me. I just hope he doesn't come back kicking and screaming. When the GPS says we're turning into the street, Josh's hand tightens around his manga. It doesn't look up for it from it, even though he still hasn't turned the page. When I spot Tim's address on the curb in front of a rundown frame house, I pull the car over. The house is across the street on the driver's side, but Josh pretends to be sunk into his story. We're here. Josh drops his book and finally looks up. I point to the house and Josh stares at it for a good 10 seconds. Then he puts the book in his backpack. He brought most of his things with him. The clothes I bought him, some of the books. They're all stuffed so tight in a backpack that barely zips. And he holds it in his lap with the hope that he has at least one parent that will take him. Can we wait a little bit? He asks. Sure. While he waits, he fidgets with everything. The air vents, his seatbelt, his seat belt, the music on his Bluetooth. Then 10 minutes pass when I patiently give him the time to work up whatever courage is in need of that. Whatever courage is in need of that will help him open the door. I look at the house, taking my attention off Josh for a while. There's an old white Ford in the driveway, which is probably why Josh hasn't worked up the courage to walk across the street and knock on his door yet. It's an indicator that someone is probably home. I haven't tried to talk him out of this because I know what it's like to want to know your father. He's going to live in this fantasy until he's able to confront his reality. As a kid, I had the highest hopes for family too, but after years of being disappointed, I realized that just because you're born into a group of people, that doesn't make them your family. Should I just go knock? Josh finally asks. He's scared. And to be honest, I'm not feeling the bravest right now. Either. I went through a lot with Tim. I'm not looking forward to seeing him again, and I am absolutely dreading the potential outcome of this meeting. I don't think this is the best place for Josh, and I'm in no position to tell him he can't reconnect with his father. But my biggest fear is that he's going to choose to stay here. That Tim is going to be like my mother and welcome Josh with open arms simply because he knows it's the one thing I don't want to happen. I can go with you if you want, I say, even though it's the last thing I want to do. I have to stand in front of that man and pretend I don't want to punch him for the sake of my little brother. Josh doesn't move for a while. I'm staring at my phone, attempting to appear patient as he works up courage. But I want to throw the car in, drive, and get him out of here. I eventually feel Josh's finger briefly graze an old scar on my arm. So I look over at him. He's staring at my arm, taking in the faded scars that remain from the shit I endured living with Sutton and Tim. Josh has never asked me about the scars, though. Did Tim do that to you? I clench my arm and nod. Yeah, but it was a long time ago. How he treats a son might be completely different from how he treated his stepson. That shouldn't matter, right? If he treated you like that, why should he get another chance with me? It's the first time Josh has come close to admitting his father isn't a hero. I don't want to be the person he blames in the future for not having a relationship with his dad, but I want to tell him he's right. His father shouldn't get another chance. He left and never looked back. There's no excuse good enough to walk away from your son. There's this toxic belief that families should stick together simply because they are family. But the best thing I ever did for myself was walk away from them. It scares me to think of where I might be had I not done that. It scares me to think of where Josh might end up if he doesn't do that. Josh looks past me toward the house. His eyes grow a little wider, prompting me to turn and look. Tim is outside, making his way from the front door to his truck. Josh and I watch in mutual stunned silence. He looks fragile, older and smaller. Or maybe that's because I'm no longer a kid. He's swinging from the last of a he's swinging from the last of the beer can he opens. He is swinging from the last of a beer can when he opens the front door of his truck. He tosses the empty can into the bed and then leans inside his cab in search of something. I don't know what to do, Josh whispers. He seems all of the 12 years old that he is right now. It kind of breaks my heart to see him so nervous. Josh's eyes are pleading for truth when he looks back at me, like he needs me to guide him in this moment. I've never said a bad word about Tim to Josh, but knowing I'm not being completely honest with him about my feelings feels like I'm doing a disservice to him as a brother. Maybe my silence on the matter is more damaging than my truth would be. I sigh and set my phone down, giving this moment my full attention. Not that it didn't have my full attention before, but I was trying to give Josh space. It doesn't seem like he wants it, though. He wants brutal honesty, and what else is an older brother good for, if not for that? I don't know my dad, I admit. I know his name, but that's about it. Sutton said he left when I was young, probably about the same age you were when Tim left. It used to bother me, not knowing my father. I used to worry about him. I imagined there was something awful that was keeping him away, like he was locked up in a prison somewhere on a wrongful conviction. I used to come up with these wild scenarios that would excuse how he could know I existed but not be in my life. Because what kind of man could have a son and not want to know him? Josh is still staring across the yard at Tim, but I can see that he's soaking up every word I'm saying. My father never sent a penny of child support. He never made an effort at all. My father never bothered to do a Google search he had before sorry, never bothered to do a Google search because if he had, he would have easily found me. Hell, you did that. Oh well, my father never bothered to do a Google search because if he had, he would have easily found me. Hell, you did that at the age of 12. You found me. And your kid is a grown-ass adult. Adult. I move so that I have Josh's full attention. So is Tim. He's a capable grown man, and if he cared about anything more than himself, he would have made an effort. He knows your name, he knows what city you live in, he knows how old you are. Josh's eyes are starting to tear up. It blows my mind that this man has you for a son and you want to be in his life, yet he still hasn't made an effort. You're privileged, Josh. Believe me, if I'd known you existed, I would have knocked over buildings to find you. As soon as I say that, a tear trickles out of his eye. So Josh quickly looks out his passenger window away from Tim's house, away from me. I see him white at his eyes, and it breaks my heart. It also makes me angry as hell that they kept him from me. They kept him from me knowingly. My mother knew I would have been a good brother to him, which is why she chose not to let us be a part of each other's lives. She knew my love for him would outweigh the love she was capable of, so she selfishly kept us apart. But I don't want my anger for my mother or Tim or even my father to bleed into Josh's decision. He's old enough to make up his own mind, so he can take my honesty and his hope, and I'll support him in whatever he decides to do with those things. When Josh finally looks back at me, his eyes are still filled with tears and questions and indecision. He's looking at me like I need to be the one to make this decision for him. I just shake my head. They took 12 years from us, Josh. I don't think I can forgive them for that, but I won't be upset if you do want to forgive them. I only ever want to be honest with you, but you are your own person. And if you want to give your father a chance to get to know you, I'll put a smile on my face and walk you straight to this front door, to his front door. You just let me know how to be here for you, and I'll be here. Josh nods and uses his shirt to wipe away another tear. He inhales, and on exhale, he says, "He has a truck." I don't know what he means by that, but I follow his line and sight. And I follow his line of sight back to Tim's truck. All this time, I imagined him to be really poor, without a way back to Boston, he says. I even thought maybe he never came because he wasn't physically able to drive, like maybe his vision was too bad or something. I don't know. But he has a truck, and he never even tried. I don't interfere with his thought process. I just want to be here for him when when he finalizes it. He doesn't deserve me, does he? He says it like a statement rather. He doesn't deserve me, does he? He says it like a statement rather than a question. Neither of them deserves you. He doesn't move for an entire minute as he stares past me out the window. But then he looks at me firmly, sitting a little taller. You know that homework I'm behind on, the family tree. Josh pulls at his seat belt and begins to fasten it. They never said how big the tree needed to be. I'll just draw a baby seedling. Seedling. They don't have branches. He pats the dash. Let's go. A baby seedling. Seedling. They don't have branches. I laugh hard at that. I wasn't expecting it. The way this kid weaves humor into the most depressing moments gives me hope for him. I think it's gonna be okay. A seedling? Huh. I start the car and pull on my own seatbelt. That might work. I can draw a seedling with two tiny branches, yours and mine. We'll be our own brand new tiny family tree, one that starts with us. I feel heat behind my eyes, so I grab my sunglasses off the dash. So I grab my sunglasses off the dash and put them on. A whole new family tree that starts with us. I like it. He nods, and we'll do a much better job of keeping it alive than our shitty parents did. That shouldn't be too hard. I'm absolutely relieved by this decision. Josh may change, Josh may change his mind in the future, but I have a strong suspicion that even if he contacts his father going forward, he's never going to choose him over me. Josh reminds me a lot of myself, and devotion is a trait we have in spades. At last, Josh says my Josh says my name right as I put the car in drive. Oh, says my name right as I put the car in drive. Yeah? Can I flip him off? Oh, like doing the middle finger. I stare back at Tim and his truck and his house. It's an immature request, but one I happily respond to with, please do. Josh leans as far toward my window as his seat belt will allow. I roll down the window and honk the horn. Tim looks over at us as I start to drive away. Josh flips him off and yells, "Asshole!" out of my window. Once we're out of Tim's eyesight, Josh falls back against his seat, laughing. It's asshole, Josh. It's assholes, Josh. One word. Asshole, he says, pronouncing it the correct way. Thank you. Now stop saying it. You're 12. Right. That is that. Now, chapter 32. This is our last chapter for today. Lily, are you at home? The text is from Atlas. So I respond to it with, for a minute. Why? I pack baby food into Emmy's diaper bag and then rush around the room, grabbing her a change of clothes. I throw a can of formula in as well, since I'm no longer breastfeeding, and then I scoop her up. You ready to go see Riley? Emmy smiles when I say Riley's name. When I picked her up this morning from Elisa's, I had a talk with both her and Marshall about everything that's happened with Riley. Elisa agreed that it was smart to show my lawyer the text he sent me. She also agreed that it's time we have a serious sit down with Riley. I'm nervous, but knowing she and Marshall have my back is extremely reassuring. As soon as we make it to my front door, there is a knock. I glance through the peephole, relieved to see Atlas standing there. But Josh isn't with him, so my heart immediately sinks. Did he actually choose to stay with his father over Atlas? I swing open the door. What happened? Where's Josh? Atlas smiles, and the assurance in his smile fills me with instant relief. It's fine. He's at my house. I blow out a breath. Oh, why are you here then? I'm on my way to my restaurant. I was driving by and thought I'd run up and steal a hug. I smile and he holds the door open for me. He can't give me a full-on hug since I have Emerson perched on my hip. So he gives me a quick kiss on the side of my head. Liar, my apartment isn't on your way, and it's Sunday. Your restaurant is closed. Details, he says, waving off my point. Where are you headed? Elisa's. We are having dinner with them tonight. I hoist the diaper bag onto my shoulder, but he takes it. But yeah, I hoist the diaper bag onto my shoulder, but he takes it from me. I walk you out. He slings the diaper bag over his shoulder. Emmy reaches for him, and I think we're both a little surprised when she willingly transfers from my arms to his. She tucks her head against his chest, and the sight of it makes me pause for a second. It makes Atlas take a pause too. But then he smiles at me and begins walking down to my car. He holds my hand the whole way. I take Amy from him and buckle her into her car seat. We're finally in a position where Atlas can give me an actual hug, so he pulls me to him. He hug, his hug feels like an entire conversation. He's holding me in a way that makes it feel like he's needing strength, like he wants to take a piece of me with him. Where are you going again? I ask him, pulling back. I really am going to my restaurant, he says. I asked Sutton to meet there. We need to have a serious discussion about Josh, and I'd like to do it when it's just me and her. She feeds off an audience. She feeds off an audience, so I refuse to give her one. Wow, I'm actually on my way to Elisa's to have that sit down with Ryle I told you I wanted. What is this problem? What is this problem solving Sunday? Atlas laughs softly. Hopefully, I kiss him. Good luck. He smiles gently. You too. Be safe and call me as soon as you can. He presses his mouth to mine one last time. And then, when he pulls away, he says, Love you, babe. He walks to his car, and I don't know why his words leave me so flustered, but I'm smiling as I get into my car. Love you, babe. I'm still smiling as I drive away. My good mood surprises me, considering what I'm on my way to and how it's more of spontaneous intervention than a planned sit down. I'm going to Elisa and Marshall's for dinner, but Ryle has no idea I'm heading over there with a purpose. Lasagna? I ask Marshall when he opens the front door. I could smell the garlic and tomatoes from the hallway. Elisa's favorite, he says, closing the door behind me. He reaches for Emmy. Come to Uncle Marshall, he says, pulling her to him. She's giggling as soon as he makes a face at her. Marshall is one of Amy's favorite people, but I think we'd be hard pressed to find a kid who doesn't love Marshall. Is Elisa in the kitchen? Marshall nods. Yeah, he's in there too, he says, whispering. We didn't mention you were coming. Okay. I set Emmy's diaper bag down and head for the kitchen. I see Ryan and Elisa's mother sitting with Riley in the living room when I pass by. I wave at her and she smiles, but I don't stop to chat. I go in search of Elisa. When I walk through the kitchen door, I find Ryle leaning over the bar, chatting casually with Elisa. But as soon as he makes eye contact with me, he spins, stiffens. His spine, oh, sorry, every time. His spine stiffens and he stands up straight. So he's becoming very tense. I don't react at all. I don't want Ryle to think he holds any sort of control over me anymore. Elisa has been expecting me. She acknowledges me with a nod and then she closes the lasagna in the oven. Perfect timing. She drops the pot holders on the counter and points at the table. We have 45 minutes until it's ready, she says, guiding both Ryle and me toward the table. What is this? Ryle asks, looking back and forth between the two of us. Just a conversation, Elisa says, urging him to take a seat. Ryle rolls his eyes, but reluctantly takes a seat across from both Elisa and me. He leans back in his chair, folding his arms over his chest. Elisa looks over at me, giving me the floor. I'm not sure what I'm scared right now. Having maybe Atlas already having had a conversation with Ryle has put most of my concerns to rest. Having Elisa and Marshall in the apartment with us also feels like a layer of protection. And Ryan's mother, even though she has no clue what's about to transpire. Ryan keeps his behavior in check when his mother is around, so I'm grateful for her presence. Whatever is giving me strength right now, I don't sit and question it. I take advantage of it. You asked yesterday if I spoke to my lawyer, I said to Ryan. I did. She had some. I I say to Ryan. I did. She had some suggestions. Mhm. Ryan chews on his bottom lip for a few seconds. Chews on his bottom lip for a few seconds. Then he lifts a brow, indicating he's listening. I want you to undergo anger management. As soon as the words come out of my mouth, Ryan laughs. He stands up, prepared to push in his chair and end this conversation. But as soon as he does, Elisa says, "Sit down, please." Ryan looks at her and then me and then back at her. Several seconds pass as he takes in what's happening. It's apparent he feels deceived right now. But I'm not here to give him empathy, and neither is his sister. Ryan loves and respects Elisa, so he eventually returns to his seat, despite his current anger. While you're undergoing anger management, I would prefer for your visits with Emerson to take place here, or somewhere Marshall or Elisa are present. Ryle swings his eyes to Elisa, and the look of betrayal he shoots her would have given me chills at one point in our past. But right now, that look does nothing to me. I continue. Depending on your interactions with me going forward, we'll decide as a family when we feel comfortable with you having unsupervised visits with the girls. The girls? Ryan repeats incredulously, looking at Elisa. Did she convince you I'm not safe around my own niece? His voice is louder now. The kitchen door swings open and Marshall walks in. He takes a seat at the head of the table and looks from Ryle to Elisa. Your mom has the girls in the living room, he says to Elisa. Oh no, your mom has the girls in the living room, he says to Elisa. What did I miss? Are you aware of this? Ryan asks Marshall. Marshall stares at him for a beat and then leans forward. Am I aware you lost your temper with Lily last week and pinned her against the door? Or am I aware of the text you sent her? Or the threats you made when she said she was talking to her lawyer? Ryan stares blankly at Marshall. His face reddens, but he doesn't immediately react. He's trapped in a corner. And he knows it. A goddamn intervention, Ryan mutters, shaking his head. He's annoyed, irritated, a little bit betrayed. Understandable. But he can either agree to cooperate or he can fracture the few remaining relationships left in his life. Ryan pegs me with a jaded stare. What else? He asks somewhat smugly. I've given you more than enough grace, Ryle. You know I have. But from this point forward, please know that Emerson is what matters to me. If you do anything threatening or harmful to me or our daughter, I will sell everything I own to fight you in court. And I will help her, Elisa says. I love you, but I'll help her. Ryan's jaw is twitching. His expression is blank, otherwise. He looks at Elisa and then at Marshall. The tension in the room is palpable. But so is the support. I could cry. I'm so grateful for them. I could cry for all the victims who don't have people like them. Ryan stews over everything for a long beat. It's so quiet, but I've made the point I wanted to make, and I've made it obvious that there is no room for negotiation. He eventually scoots back from the table and stands. He brings his hands to his hips and stares down at the floor that he drags in a long inhale before he heads for the kitchen door. Before he leaves, he looks back toward us, but makes eye contact with none of us. I'm off this Thursday. I'll be here around 10 if you want to make sure Emerson is here. He leaves. And as soon as he does, my shield of armor collapses and I shatter. Elisa puts her arms around me, but I'm not crying because I'm upset. I'm crying because I am so relieved. It actually feels like we accomplished something significant. I don't know what I'd do without you two, I say through my tears, hugging Elisa. She runs her hand over my hair and says, "You'd be so miserable, Lily." We both start to laugh somehow. Well, we'll see here a sort of so this is the end of chapter 32. So here there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for Lily and her relationship with Ryle. And yeah, I find this resolution for Ryle quite the best way, and for both of them in a way, but very caring for Ryle because they're actually giving him a chance to heal rather than just fighting him off, well, in court and just sending him to prison or whatever and having it very ugly. So actually, they give him a chance to fix himself and get better. Although he really hurt Lily, and he's been a terrible man. So I guess here the last chapters should be should kind of aim in that direction, hopefully. Well, we'll see what happens at the very end of the book. We read that next week. So this is the last live reading of this week. So I've made a little change for the next live reading. So the next, so we were meant to meet this Saturday, but due to personal commitment, I will not do the next live reading this Saturday and instead on Tuesday. So I really hope you enjoyed this live reading. Again, comment, follow this YouTube channel if you want to have more of this kind of content. And I hope that you'll be able to join me live on Zoom next time to be able to chat with me and have a guided reading session. And so now the next session, next live reading session will be next Tuesday on the 22nd of April at 6:30 p.m. Central European Time, and we will read chapter 33 and 34. And on Wednesday we will finish the book. So this is it. We're reaching the end. I wish you a beautiful end of the day and see you soon. Bye bye.